Next, I'm going to talk about the script editor within the Script Atlas software. So to get access to it, you can just click the script editor option here on the left-hand menu bar. It'll bring up the editor here. So this script editor is basically an HTML editor, something kind of similar to what you see in WordPress. But what it does is basically like a really good and powerful editor that has a lot of features in it. So you can see you can access all the features from the drop-down menus up here. And you can see everything you do is basically what you're familiar with other types of HTML editors or just a content editor in general. For example, adding images, links, media, code samples, tables, special characters, all sorts of different things you can do in here. And so what I want to do in this video is just kind of go through some of the things and how you can use these different features when creating your content. So let's go ahead and just open up some content here. Now, I've shown this editor in other videos, but I've actually did a few updates since I have done those other videos. So let me show you what I've done. So when you do the drop down, I just want to get it into view here. So you hit the file button, you'll see you can open and save HTML files. So this is an HTML editor. So the files that it primarily will work with are HTML files, but I have it so you could import from a text file if you'd like. Now you can export the text file or you can export to PDF. Now these functionalities you see here are also available on this left menu here. I've added these buttons here to be just more for convenience and easy to access. Let's go ahead and open HTML file here. This was an ebook we were working on in a previous video. We created this ebook using ChatGPT and Script Atlas. So we didn't do much formatting with it, but let's just talk about some of the things you can do in here. So first, here's a quick look at the content. And so what we can do here is we can do all the regular stuff you can do in other kind of content editors. Like for example, you can bold, italic, underline, strike through, all of these things here. Just like any other kind of editor, you can select it and you can change the headings if you like to. This can be a heading H1 tag. You could change the fonts, the font sizes, and you can add a link. So like say this was going to be a link somewhere, you can click the link and then you can just type in the URL. I'll just go Google for now. And click save and you got a link there now. And you can also add images. So you can import an image here by putting a external link. Now I also have an option here where you can insert an image from this option here. So this will bring up this, so you can put an image from a link, or you can choose an image from your computer. For example, I just paused the video and I threw this image into this folder here so I can show you. So let's open it up and I'll put an image directly in there. So, and then you got some options here. You can actually just resize it real quickly, kind of like that, if you'd like. And one little handy thing, you can actually just double click any image within the editor and it will bring up an image editor. So I'll talk about this in another video. It's just some basic editing tools in here for the image editor. So that's how you add an image. You can add tables if you'd like. So if you want to add a table down here, you can add a table like this. You can add your content in each of them, and then you can add rows. Pretty much when you hover over it, it'll kind of tell you exactly what these features are. And you'll notice here you got a few more options. You got your centering, your alignment tools. And I love this one, which is your line height. So I always like increasing my line height so that it's easier to read. When the lines are too close together, then it's kind of hard for people to read it. So I like keeping the line height pretty high, so you can see here how separated the lines are. So all you have to do that is you can select the entire document if you like. To select it all, you just go Control A on your keyboard or Command A on a Mac. And then you can apply the line height. Now if you click this little three dots here, you're going to get a whole bunch of more stuff. Now this is just the toolbar, and in order to, that toolbar will stay there once you have that button clicked. It's kind of like a checkbox kind of thing. So if you go like that, it'll disappear, and go like that, it'll stay there. And you got a whole bunch of functions in here that you can utilize. All of this stuff you see here is also all available in here. So I find myself using these more than clicking this down here, because it can get a little bit overwhelming looking at all this stuff. But this is a preview option. It shows you what it will look like. Now, some important things here to know. You can get the source code, because this is an HTML editor. If you need the source code for some reason, you can click here and see the source code. Another way is I've also provided it in right here, full source code, and it brings up a little window. Now, in this source code, it'll actually give you a different type of source. So up here, if you click source, you will see the image is not encoded. This is the kind of the internal engine thing for this particular HTML editor. So if you're going to be copying and pasting source code, I recommend using this button here, full source code. And this source code actually contains the encoded image directly inside the HTML. What that means is it's easier for whatever you're placing this into to recognize that image. Otherwise, what I suggest doing is when you have an image like this, we loaded it from our computer. When you insert an image, it might be a good idea to upload an image somewhere online, like your website or somewhere where you can upload your images, and then insert an image using that link where you upload it, instead of choosing it from your computer. That will basically eliminate all of that encoded image code inside. You can see it gets pretty bloated. Like if you have, say, 20 images in here, this is going to be massive amount of content. So when you go and paste that somewhere, it could be like 20 megabytes, where if you use actual real links, hot links as they're called, for your images, then it won't be like that. It'll only be like less than half a meg or something like that. Now, another place you can insert images into your content is using the image library. So if you click here, it'll bring up the image library, where you can get images from Pexels, Pixabay, Unsplash, and icons from Icon Finder. Now, you'll have to log into your accounts at these separate places and get a free account first. You got to get a free account and then insert your API keys. I'll show that in a different video. So basically, to do that, you can inside the main software, you'll see settings, and in here you go to image API, and you add in your API keys here. It's very simple, and it's all free, so you don't have to pay anything for using those APIs. So if I want to put an image here, let's type in AI and see if we get anything. And it'll download a bunch of images, and if you want more, you just click the more, and it'll go ahead and add more to the bottom. Let's say I want to insert this into the software, into the script editor. Well, you can either right click and insert into the script editor and select the size of the image. And there's also an insert button down here that allows you to insert into the image editor or the script editor. And you do have the option to download it as well to your computer if you'd like. But just go ahead and just right click and insert the medium into here, and there it is. And if you want to edit that, you just double click it and bring it up into the script editor. So that's how you can easily insert images into the editor. Now you can also change colors of text if you'd like. If you go into format, down here you can change the text color. So that's kind of cool. You can also change the background color as well. So there's lots of options there for you. Now to clear out some formatting, say you didn't want to do that, you can just select it, and in the formatting you can clear the formatting, and I'll go back to normal again. Now the one thing I also want to mention in here is you'll notice when we opened up this document, it puts the document up here of the file that we opened up, the HTML file. And you'll see over here that we've been adding stuff to it and we haven't saved it. So if we go ahead and close this, it will not update the information in that file. So I've made a handy little button down here. All you have to do is click save, and now it's saved. You can see up here. Now if you want this to happen automatically, all you have to do is just select this auto save, and it will automatically keep your document saved. So it actually checks every 3 seconds if any content has changed, and it will automatically save it for you up in this file here. So a file has to be loaded here in order for the auto save to work. So let me show you. Let's just clear all of this out. If we start typing away here, now it's not saved because an auto save is on, but it's not saved because we actually have not saved this content to a file yet. So let's go ahead and save it. If you click there, let's just call it testing for now. And now the autosave will be running every 3 seconds, so no matter what, it will always be saving when you add content to this. So that's how the auto saving part works. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just reopen the ebook there. So it's definitely recommended to use the auto save so you don't lose any work at all. So that's a pretty handy little feature we have in here. Now, we don't have the option where you go Control S on your keyboard. That's not integrated into this particular HTML editor because that feature is not available. But that's why I added this autosave, and you can always click this save button all the time to keep saving your work, but autosave does it for you. But anyhow, that's how you can autosave stuff. Another cool feature here is, let's say you wanted to copy the content. You can copy just the plain text or the source code directly to your clipboard. So let me just open up a plain text file so you can see what I mean. So let's go ahead and just go, let's copy plain text, and now it's just complete plain text right to there. Now if you want to copy the source code, this will copy that source code, but remember that image content is in there, so it's actually going to be quite large. You see all that image data is directly in there. So it's always good to have your images as hot links, meaning those images are somewhere on the internet instead of being completely embedded into the HTML. So this one here was not hot link. This one is actually a hot link. So if you look at the link, if you right click there and go image, you can see this is a link located on Pexels. Now let's talk about some of the other options here on the left-hand side menu. So we talked about inserting images in the image library. Let's talk about what these are. So delete the top, delete the bottom. These are extremely useful when you're bringing in content from the content extractor tool, or when you're scraping a URL, or you're doing, say for example, even YouTube to text, text to speech, all these kind of things down here, getting content. These are what these come in handy, but let me explain what it is. It's quite self-explanatory. If I put my cursor right here and I click delete the top, it's going to delete everything to the top of the document. So if I go like this, it deleted everything. Now if I go here, delete everything to the bottom. Now, unfortunately, I have the saved. So we just saved that document because it was auto saved. So I can go undo to bring that information back. Like so. So I'm just going to unselect that while I'm kind of playing around here because I don't want to lose this information. But I will save it. So let me show you how that's really handy here. So I can go ahead and clear this out. And then I'm going to use get content to bring up the content search and extraction tool. Now this tool, what it is you can extract information from Google News, a Google search, or Bing search. So the search engines and then the Google News. So let's just stick with Google News for now. Let's put like how to make money with AI. Click search. And let's say we wanted to take one of these articles. So, I mean, you can click on it and take a look at the article online, but let's just look at this one here. So if we select this, we can actually click Get Content from Selected Link. It'll bring up the little scraper tool. So we'll scrape the content. We can view it. Let's go ahead and extract the content. You have a couple options here. Remove the links and remove all formatting. So it's just basically plain text. Let's go ahead and just click Extract Content. And what that did is it added the content into our editor here. But you can see a whole bunch of stuff from the website was put in there. So this is where it kind of would be handy to use those delete the top, delete the bottom sort of thing. So what you can do is you kind of find the heart of the content. This doesn't seem to be a very good example. It must be some sort of site that hasn't much content for that particular article. Let's try something different. Let's try this one here. And we can see the meat of the content right in there. Okay, so it looks like it starts around here where the headline is. So if I put my mouse right there, I want to delete the top. And then we come down to the bottom of the article. It seems to be around here. And delete the bottom. And now we have the bulk of our article. And now we do all sorts of stuff with this content. Now, what's really cool about this idea is the fact that we put this into Google News, and this is the 4th top article that showed up in Google News search engine. So this basically means Google says this is very important. So this content is already proven to be important. So you could utilize this. Obviously, do not copy it word for word type of thing, but you can use AI to rewrite this content, use a different image from the image library. So there's different links in here and stuff like that. So if you don't want any of these links in here, you click on Remove Links, and they automatically are gone, and you can get rid of things you don't want in here. Say you want to make an ebook or something like that. You can, get rid of this image and put in a new one. Change the content of this if you'd like. And to do that is actually quite simple. Down here we have AI prompts. So if you select this, these are all AI prompts. So it'll automatically take the content from within the script editor, and then create a prompt that you could use in your whatever your favorite AI engine is, like ChatGPT or Google Bard or whatever. So for example, I want to rewrite this content. So now I can just select this and it copied a prompt. Now I can come back over to the main app here and click on browser, and I'm already logged into ChatGPT. And here, all we have to do is right click and paste. And there's our prompt to rewrite the whole thing. And now we can just let ChatGPT go ahead and rewrite it for us. And we already know this content was valued inside of Google News. So with this and possibly another little bit more personal work to it, you can also get your content ranked high in Google News. So let's go ahead and copy that. And now we can go over here to the editor and use it. So if I just go down here and then Control V on my keyboard, now I just pasted that content into here. And now I can get rid of all that. And now I have fresh new content that is rewritten using ChatGPT. And I could use this content instead of the other one and post it on my blog or make an ebook or do whatever I want. Of course, I can add a new picture in there. Image library. Let's try Pixabay and type in AI and see what they come up with. There's an interesting picture. So insert the large. That looks pretty big. Maybe let's insert the medium. There we go. Then we could do other things, like we could bold the sections if we'd like. So now it's not saved. We can obviously save this content. 6 ways to make money with AI. And now we have the option to do whatever we want. We can post it to WordPress, so we can export it to a PDF. So let's go ahead and export it to a PDF. And in here, you have some options. because this is an HTML editor and we're going to PDF. So there's some things you got to take note here. You'll have to select the actual font that you want to use. Now we're actually using the same font in the editor as we are selecting for the PDF, so I'll just keep it the same. If you want to include the footer page numbers in the footer, you want to select here and you set the font size. If you want to have a title for each page in the header, you can do that. I like keeping mine kind of clean, so I'm not going to do that. Let's go ahead and click done. It'll ask us to where we want to save it. I'll save it here, and it will automatically start generating the PDF, and it should just show up in whatever PDF editor you use on your PC. So now we can see the content here. Very quick and easy. And just like that, we have a PDF document that we can use as a lead magnet or whatever maybe a product or whatever you need it for. It seems like this video is getting quite long here, so I'm going to speed things up a little bit. So let's clear this out. And I just want to, I'll be showing this tool in another video, so I'll show this more in depth there. So let's just kind of put that to the side and continue down here. That's the get content, and you saw the scrape URL already, so that just brings up this little tool. File to text, you can convert any video file or audio file into text. In order to use that feature, you have to insert some API keys into speech to text. You need to use the Glad AI or the deepgram.com API keys. Now, what's cool about these services, Glad AI, currently at the time of recording this video, they allow you 10 hours for free every month, which is an incredible amount of text to speech conversion, or sorry, speech to text conversion. That's a lot. Now, you also have the option for Deepgram. They give you like $200 credit or something like that, which is equivalent to an incredible amount of time. It's like 700 hours or something along those lines. I'll create a separate video on how to get these API keys. So it's free to sign up, and you've got incredible free plans. So if you happen to run through 10 hours in a month of speech to text conversion, then you just come into here and you can select Deepgram and use part of that 700 hours. And I actually have 2 Deepgram accounts that are free, so I actually have 1,400 hours. It's basically endless. So you can pretty much consider this free. But obviously they do have paid options if you'd like to do that, but I don't see the need for it since they offer such huge amounts of free time for speech to text options. So once that's put in there, then you can utilize the file to text. So let's try go file to text. I record a little video here of my voice, and once you do that, I had the Deepgram selected. So sometimes it can take a little bit of time there. It took about 20 seconds or something like that. Sometimes it's faster, sometimes it's slower, but that's just I just recorded my voice saying a few sentences, right? But anyhow, that can also be it can accept MP4 files and .wav files currently. So that's what that feature is. And then another cool thing is you can actually insert a YouTube video and translate it to text. So let me quickly show you that option there. So let's click that, and I'll just stick in one of my videos from one of my channels. So it's just it's my sales video for one of my software. So let's go ahead and click that, and you'll see this thing comes up because I actually had that video in different languages. So you can actually select the language you would like to output as text. So I'm going to select English, and there we go. Now you can see here it gives me the title and then the text. So I'm just going to get rid of that. And one thing obviously you can see here, it's not formatted very nicely. So that's why we have the auto punctuate feature. So all you gotta do is come in here and select auto punctuate, and it'll automatically punctuate the content for you. And just like that, it's put into paragraphs and auto punctuated. So that's the power of using YouTube to text. Of course, when you're using content from other people, make sure that you're allowed to use their content, or make sure it has the proper rights. So what I mean by that, when you go to youtube.com and let's say how to make money with AI, you want to select the filters over here and you'll see Creative Commons. Now, according to YouTube's rules, videos that are under that license, the Creative Commons license, you're allowed to actually take the content from this video and manipulate it as your own. So make sure when you're using, so for example, this one here, I would take this one and now I can, let's clear that out and go here. And now we can go auto punctuate. Sometimes this can take a little bit of while. There's 2,651 words. There we go. Now it's auto punctuated. A couple weird characters at the end there. And now we're fully ready to go and we're allowed to use this content. But if you know, it's good to read through it because this is basically, taken from someone talking on the video. So it may not be exactly what you want. So you might want to go through here and get ChatGPT to rewrite this content for you to make it sound more like proper. So that's easy to do. All you have to do again is come down here and rewrite the content. You can also punctuate content by using ChatGPT if you'd like. So if we go back to clearing that all and let's do this again, we could tell ChatGPT to auto punctuate this by getting a prompt, coming down the ChatGPT and telling it to auto punctuate that content, and it will do it for you here. And just like that, it's auto punctuated. So now we can select all or just clear file and paste. And it did not auto punctuate there. Okay, I gotcha. Sometimes the copy button takes away the, so if I just select it, kind of tough in this little window here. Bear with me. I'm just going to select it here, copy that, Control C, clear, Control V. So now it's auto punctuated and got my paragraphs. Pretty cool. Now I can actually see that it didn't get all of it. So you can type the word continue. There we go. To make sure you get all the content punctuated. There's a limit in ChatGPT how much it can do. So yeah, we'd have to tell it to continue a few more times to get it all, but that's okay. You just keep hitting continue until you get all the content, and you paste it back in here. That's why the auto punctuate here is just a little bit easier. You can deal with more larger content than ChatGPT can. Another cool feature here is you can actually take any of your content and you can save it to a snippet if you would like. I mean, you can save this entire content to a snippet if you'd like. But say, for example, you like this title. So you can select it and say create snippet. And this is your snippet content here. And you got to select one of your custom categories. So I can put it in, I have a category, I just put ideas. Of course, I can create one and call it my good headlines or something like that. And now we can add the snippet to there. And in the background, you'll see we added in the custom my good headlines, and now there's our little snippet in the snippet database. So that's kind of handy. Now you can also export to WordPress if you'd like. So in order to do this, you're going to have to add a WordPress site to the settings over here. I have one for one of my websites. It's not really a blog per se, it's more of a sales page, but I just did it for an example for this video. But at the click of a button, you can actually export this right to WordPress. I'll create another video on how to do it and how to kind of set it up. It's a little bit you got to do within WordPress to get it going, but it's very simple. Let's say I wanted a post title. Well, I need to get a title. Let's copy this first. And status published, allow comments. Yes, you can add tags, categories if you like, and tags, and you can add them if you want. And just click post to WordPress. And as soon as it posts, it will be put on your WordPress. Now, I just have a generic plain old WordPress here with nothing magical to make it look nice here, but you can see the content went immediately onto my site. So that's a very powerful little feature. It makes it easy for you to get your content on your WordPress sites. Now, the one thing I didn't explain here is the translate cloak tool. So you bring this up, there's a bunch of things you can do with this. You can translate, you can spin the content, or you can even cloak AI content, because there are AI detectors out there that can detect AI content, and you can cloak it really, really easily just by translating it between a couple of different languages. So you can go, like, I could show you an example here real quickly. I'll make another video for this, but let's just show you. When you bring it up, it will either, if you have content selected, it will bring up that content that's selected, or otherwise, if nothing's selected, it will grab everything in your document. So let's just take a little bit of content. Let's just say like this, for example, and we'll go, say we want to translate this to Dutch. What it does, it uses the free Google Translate tool. So you don't have to pay API fees ever. It just automatically uses it. I figured out a way to get around the character limit. So this is a translation. So now you can copy this and bring it back into the editor if you'd like. Now let's say we wanted to spin the content. So we could do up to 3 spins. So I can spin to Dutch, Spanish, and back to English again. And it will take the content and it will slightly modify it a little bit. And this will spin it. And at the same time, it also cloaks AI content. So it's very handy. There's a lot of tools out there to like kind of cloak your AI content. And from what I can see, most of them kind of do a variation of this type of tactic. So we just went from English to Dutch, and then from Dutch to Spanish, and then from Spanish to English. And it will slightly be changed, and most of the time it will pass any of your AI detection tools. So pretty cool. So that's what that tool does, and it's very easy to use. And you can also just translate between 2 languages and not 3. So you just select whatever step you want to do. So that's basically all the tools that I've created in here. I know this video is pretty long, but I wanted to kind of go through everything and show you. I will create more videos on more specific topics using these features just to make things faster, so you don't have to watch this entire video. So anyhow, I just want to show an entire overview of this actual tool, because this is one of the most powerful tools inside the software.